Hey! Hi, everybody! Hi! This is the Global Party 2017 Healing from the Inside Out. You have the beautiful, extraordinary Melody Chatamoya in Dublin, Ireland. Originally from one of my favorite places, Zimbabwe, Africa. And we are going to be talking about rising to love. It is always, we have so much fun, Melody and I together, and we have, if you've ever been a part of the Opening with the Heart or Living from the Heart series, they're all great, but today we're going to really up the game to Rising for Love. And so, Melody, what is the song that you picked today to kick this party off?
Walking on Sunshine, going back to Zimbabwe in my spirit.
All right. Because that's what happens when you rise to love. You're walking on sunshine.
Yes, you do actually. Yeah.
You know what? That just felt good. That was really good. That was like, okay, after doing so many interviews, I really had to like move that body, get that thing. Because you know what? When you're a solopreneur and you're sitting all the time, you got to get up and move. And we're going to be talking about music movement at the next one. But this was good, Melody. This is a good. Okay. So how do we go from this low vibration of life? We say, oh, am I ever gonna find somebody that loves and appreciates me for just me, to rising to love?
Okay, rising to love is not really a phenomenon, or it's not an unnatural thing, because love is our natural state. We were created by love. That is the reason why we want to be in love so many times, because we seek it, we want to keep it, we want to hold on to it, because that's who we are. We are love. So it's like when you don't love in your life, you are seeking it. You want to hold on to it. It's like there's a part of you that's, and you go searching for it. Your heart, your body, your spirit goes searching for love, because that's your natural state. But the problem we have had is that we have been trained, we've been taught to play at love, to play at being in love. Mm-hmm. We put conditions on. I can only love you if you feel these conditions, and there are 10, 20, 100. Some of them you're never even told that you're supposed to meet them. And that is the problem we have today. That is the reason why so many relationships suffer, because when we get into the relationship, mm-hmm. we say, oh, I really love him, or oh, I really love her. Right. But what we mean is, I really love him or her as long as they do things my way.
Melody. My whole life, okay? Like, Absolutely. It was, you say it so clearly now. Like, it's like nobody, I mean, nobody ever said it before like that. It was about falling in love. And is he Charles Larkin handsome? Or, as you say, what was that, right? Back in Zimbabwe, what was tall? But it was this, I never thought about it, is that actually just love them for who they were with all their imperfections or all their characteristics. It was, I loved the great parts of them, and the rest of them they needed to shift and change.
Yeah, because he's not okay as long as I haven't put my hands on him. Then I'll beat him into shape or fix him, and then he'll be perfect. Yeah, right. Because it has worked for so many women for so long, right? We keep doing it over and over, and it keeps working. Not.
It's so true. It's like that walking in the wall going, okay, definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And you have been so helpful in all your little pointers about how men think and what they're looking for, and how we, or I, in this particular case, was carrying baggage forward. Even though I thought I still cleared a lot, you still have that baggage that you're bringing forward, and you need to let go of it in order to rise to love.
Yes.
How does one do that, though?
Because we need to understand one very important thing.
Mm-hmm.
Love is a spiritual experience. And because it's a spiritual experience, mm-hmm. in order for you to be in love, to experience it fully, you need to transform as a person. It's not for the weak. It's not for the faint-hearted. Love is really for people who are courageous enough to be vulnerable, to be open, mm-hmm. and who also want to grow, to transform, to be in a higher state.
Okay, so on a serious note, so I did approach all my relationships like, that if I wasn't getting what I wanted, it must be me that needed to be fixed or transformed or let go of, et cetera, et cetera. So I would want to encourage, it's not always just about trying to fix or transform. Sometimes it was, for me, just recognizing, wow, I'm trying to take something that's broken, like completely unmatched to where my heart's desires are. I'm trying to take an apple and turn it into an orange. And, no matter what I would do, it's never going to be an orange. It could be applesauce, it'd be apple pie, but it's not going to be an orange. And
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I was just going to say, so for some women, right, I just want you to give them the permission to say, no, it's not about you on a spiritual journey having to keep doing your thing, because sometimes it's just get off the treadmill.
Yeah, you do. Because no one gives us love. Mm-hmm. Nobody gives anyone love. We have been misled. But what we do is we open our hearts. We break down all the barriers, mm-hmm. to allow love to flow.
So through us.
To float, because it's in us. It's just brewing and gurgling inside our hearts. So when you open up, when you allow it to go, then amazing things start to happen. For example, you start to understand that you are more important than anyone else. Your joy is very important.
Yes.
So when you allow another person to do things to you that hurt you, that disrespect you, that offend you in any way, and you take it, you don't love yourself and you don't love that person either.
Okay, there is some truth to that. All right. That was really the truth, is I did not love myself in the past. So no matter how much spiritual work I was doing, I was in that period, I was in that space of not loving myself enough to fix something that wasn't fixable, because it was the apple and not an orange.
Yeah.
Now,
so when you love
great work, I just want to say, through your great work, through our weekly conversations and everything that you offer, I have learned to say, I love me, and I'm totally love my life, and I love it the way I have known that I've loved it, but I'm okay now to add a guy as long as he loves my life and loves me in my life and who I am in my life, and then I'll love him the same.
Yes. And I have to clarify this because I know someone is going to say, oh, Melody, you're telling us to be selfish, and love is not selfish. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, when you love yourself enough, you have enough love to give to yourself, to other people, to the men of your dreams, to your children, to all your family. And not just that, you also have the capacity to receive the love that they are trying to show you, in the intention that they are trying to show it to you. So he goes out, he buys you beautiful flowers, and they're not your favorite. If you don't really live from your heart, you are just going to see the fact that he bought you flowers that are not your favorite. So he wasn't paying attention when you told him your favorite flower.
Yeah.
That's all you're going to see.
And I'm not supposed to see, I wasn't supposed to see that. I'm supposed to see something different.
Yeah.
Okay.
But when you are living from your heart space, when you are loving enough, you are going to see the intention. And when you see the intention, when you are connected, when you speak, he is going to hear you. When you do things because you're doing them out of love, when you're telling them who you are, when you're being who you are, he will see you and he will give you the flowers that you want.
Oh, okay, hold on.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew it.
I was like, first I was going with, okay, so if he shows up with a dandelion or a wildflower, it's like, it's okay. It's the thought that counts, and that I'm supposed to appreciate that gesture. But now what I just heard you say is, if he doesn't show up with what I want, it has to do with me.
Yes. It means, on some level, when you communicate with him, you're not being yourself. You are not loving you. You're not coming from the love space of you.
I think you better say more about that, Melody.
Okay. Because, like, when we practice being in love, when we stop being in fear, pretending to be in love, he is going to be so drawn to you that every word you're saying, everything you say, he will hear. And his aim would be to please you to the last point. Because once you are living from your heart, whatever you do is magical. And he would take credit for you being in that magical place, because he thinks, oh my God, I'm such a great guy. Because you make him feel great.
But it's not to make him great because he's supposed to feel great and I'm like propping him up on a pedestal. It's because I really feel he's great, and that's being authentic. Because if I'm doing anything else, really, I'm not loving myself, and I'm saying this is okay, even though it's making me miserable. Yeah.
I'll give you an example of loving a person and loving yourself at the same time. So my husband, Taurai, when we first got together, he used to do things like, sit down, I want to look at you. Right? And I would say, oh, come on, really? Like, who does that? That's just insane. That's crazy. And he would say, and I would say, oh, I need to do the dishes. I've got to clean the kitchen. And because this always used to happen soon after dinner. Every time after dinner, he would say, I want you to just sit still and sit down. Don't do anything. Just sit with me for a while. I want to look at you.
And again, I have to make sure, because everybody's mind goes this way. She's fully clothed. She's not wearing a skin onesie. You know, she is just like we are right now. And he wants her to sit down so he can look at her.
And most of the time we wouldn't be talking. which is so weird for a woman because we should be talking. I mean, it's very important to talk. But even when I would try to talk to him, he wouldn't respond. So I would just give up on the conversation and I would just let him look at me. And initially, I used to feel really weird about this because it was about me. And I would feel, because he would say, don't worry, I'll do the dishes later. It's fine. Do not worry about this. I was raised to finish cooking, finish eating, clean up.
Okay.
So I had to think, what was more important for me? To give him the one thing he needed from me, which was for me to just sit still and do nothing or read a book or whatever, and and him to get whatever he got from me. My discomfort wasn't important because I wasn't physically uncomfortable. I was more like self-conscious.
Yep.
But the take on it was he needed this. It was important to him. And my love for him was for me to allow him to feel whatever he needed when he was looking at me. And after a while, I got comfortable to be looked at. And now that he's not here, I miss being looked at. Not in a weird way, because he didn't look at me in a weird way, but he thought I was beautiful. And he would be admiring me and my beauty, which made me see myself in a different light.
And he was honoring your presence, just like Alana here is coming saying, hi, beautiful ladies, right? She's just again clarifying, and he knew that, and he just wanted to be present to you, and that was the gift.
Yes, yeah, and I'll give you another example again. When we moved in together from Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe was hot. We didn't have a fridge, which meant every time we needed a pint of milk, we needed to go to the shops. Fortunately, we lived in town, so it wasn't too difficult. But because I was in college, he was working as a lecturer, and weekdays were fine. We didn't need milk at all. But weekends, we would lie in, and then I would get up and late and hungry, and I would say, I would need to start on breakfast. And he would say, yeah, but we need to go and get milk and eggs and whatever. And I would say, well, you could do that, because I'm a woman who multitask. You do that, I make breakfast. When you get back, everything is done, and we can sit down and eat. And he would, Sarah had this thing. He would stop. Like he wouldn't see that he stopped, but he went very still. And then he would look at me in the eyes and say, what's more important? You making breakfast or me working with my wife to go and get what we need? And I would just go, okay, let's go then.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I could have insisted because my instincts were telling me to do something else. They really, like, I had to fight myself, but I also had to be logical and say, okay, this is what's comfortable for me. This is what's comfortable for him.
Right.
How do I make this possible for me to enjoy this? For me to and I started thinking, okay, this is my loving gift for my husband. This is the love I'm giving him. He needs to be with me. We need to do this together. And instead of going there kicking and screaming, we would walk. We would talk about a lot of stuff. We used to connect a lot when we're doing this. And we talked and we connected and we laughed and we forgot about the fact that we were hungry. And then we would come back home. We would make our brunch at that stage. But it was always a beautiful time we spent together.
And I want you to take in more of that beautifulness from your lovely sister Nelta, who's saying, hello, beautiful ladies.
Thank you.
I think this is very important to get, that you said your instincts were saying to do the cleanup. I would say your habits, the way you were trained up was saying, clean the kitchen, do this. And your husband was saying, no, be present.
Be present. Exactly.
Love me, rise to love. And he wasn't saying it, okay? He wasn't saying, he was saying, walk with me, let me be with you. So I think what I'm getting is that guys really do like those times where they're connecting, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And,
oh my God, they crave them.
and yet we as females are so busy thinking all these things have got to get done, or we're thinking
And
all
we
the is sex. And
Yeah.
neither one, either case, we're missing the boat, and that presence that they so want, that we so are participatory in, because we are the receivers, right? Like, it's our body that's in rhythm. We receive and give. They want that, and we're, in a sense, withholding because we're not rising to love. We're sunk.
Yeah, exactly. We are taking everything we consider to be love because, I once heard this woman recently on some thing I was passing through saying, we need to give him food because the way to a man's heart is to give him food. And I was like, no, it's not. How dare you say that? Right. But you see, we have so many things that we consider important in relationships that men look at and think, what is wrong with women, really? Why are they doing all these things? Why do we need all this stuff? I don't understand it, but because I love her, I'm going to let it happen because it makes her happy.
Annie's telling you you've got good insights into here, and we want to welcome Benny. Benny and the Jets. Benny, I just had to do that, okay? But thank you for joining us and saying hi. And are we on the money at all here, Benny? Do we know what we're talking about here? Share with us. Okay. This is good stuff. This is so good. Okay, so when someone says to me that they can actually notice in my eyes whether I'm present or not.
Yes.
They are paying attention to me.
Yeah. And because the one thing that men do that women don't realize, because we think we need to do something to get their attention.
Right.
But they see us so clearly. They read our bodies. They pay so much attention on our bodies because they love us. They are so, we are like magnets to them. So when you're doing something, whatever you're doing, the reason why he's with you is because the way you move, the way you bend your leg, the way you do your, whatever you do is what's keeping him with you. It's a magnet for him. So you don't need to do anything. But what we as women think we need to do is we need to do so much,
right,
in order for us to get the attention that we need. So we kill ourselves. Some of us go join the gym because he's not noticing me. We do this because he's not noticing me. Just stop. Take a moment. Be present with him. If anything, if you're taking anything from this, if those people who are in relationships who are listening to this, or with boyfriends, if you at any time you feel like you're disconnecting, just go sit down next to a man. Don't say anything. Just sit with him. Take his hand if you want to, and be quiet and see what happens. Because it will floor you. You could not even imagine what that does. You can't imagine, but he's going to say, thank you so much. I needed that.
Huh.
Yeah.
Very, very insightful. Okay. So now we have another comment here from Benny. So he joined late, so he's a little behind on the conversation. Okay. So you'll get caught up, Benny, but here's the scoop. Is we're talking about rising to love and how most women don't really know what most, except Melody, know what you guys really want. We've been trained to think that it's about feeding you or giving you sex, and really, you just want to be loved and appreciated for who you are.
Yeah, and to be noticed.
Oh, notice. That's a good one.
Yeah, like have you ever noticed something? If you see a man, any man at all, and you notice him, and you have an eye thing, like a split second eye contact.
Yeah.
But you notice him from head to toe.
Right.
And he sees you noticing him. You see him immediately get taller and puff up. You see it. It's like magic. They feel good. Oh my God, somebody saw me. Because nobody looks at men.
Right.
Not really.
Okay, I do. I give them the thumbs up in the grocery store. I go, I like what they do. Just because I feel like the same thing is that they don't get that same sense of appreciation. And then I got to draw the line because then they come in and they go, oh, and I'm like, no, I was just saying I like the way you look. Right.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, like I like men who look confident and they look relaxed, and so I pay attention and I see that, and sometimes I even do that with those that don't seem, who look like the world is on their shoulders and things are very hard, and you just connect with them for a split second and say hi. Don't, even if you don't use words, you say hi with inside you and you just say hi to them. They will hear you because our spirits, our energies speak to each other. You will see that things change if you're present, if you're noticing yourself and you're noticing other people. You see that people change. Sometimes when I see people, I see someone that I feel like might need a little bit of love. They say, okay, I'm sending you my love now. And you see them looking around thinking, oh, okay. And they don't see anyone, but they feel that. That's a gift you can give. You can even give that to your men or your children or whatever. I do that with my kids all the time. When they're going off to school, I just say, okay, I'm sending you more love and blessings, so have a great day. And I don't have to touch them.
Right.
I just need to send it to them. And you can do this from a distance. I used to do that with my ex-boyfriend when he was in Zimbabwe and I was here, and I would, 9,000 miles away. And I would sit down and be quiet for about 10 minutes. And then I'd say, okay, I'm sending him love now. And he would call me and say, I just missed you so much. And I think, my thing worked.
Well, Benny is basically validating what you've been saying here, because he says companionship does not entail a lot of doing things for us, but being there with us in the present is the most rewarding to Benny. Thank you, Benny, for sharing that, because I think a lot of us women have really, we got a lot of work to do. I think you have some help to offer us, don't you?
Yes, actually, yeah. I don't think it's work we need. I think it's more awareness.
Okay.
And I have a surprise program that I've prepared for all those who want to get deeper into this, because we never do half of the work that I would have done. I can tell you so much. And you could be like Jacqueline. We spend every week together, and I coach her, and she has an amazing life.
I'm practicing. Really good.
And she's practicing, which is great. But you could have me as your coach, and I will coach you for 6 weeks. And I call the program Juicy Quick Love, because I don't want you to spend 2 years working on this like I did, or 20 years doing research on this like I've been doing. I just want you to get the quick things that you can use so that you can transform your relationships with men, with any man at all, but especially if you're looking at having a relationship or you are in a relationship that's not pleasing you at this moment. You can transform it very quickly. And that is called Juicy Quick Love. It has 6 modules and a surprise one on intimacy, which I'm so looking forward to doing. Because I love to teach these things. I think they help us to rise up to love, to be more loving and more connected and more joyful in our lives. I think we need that as people. We need that a lot. So yeah, that's it. And I think I have the modules actually here. So the first module is discover and clear barriers to your ideal relationship. Mm-hmm. That's when you're looking at who you are now, who you're being that you don't want to be. We try to look at where that's coming from. We clear that. We do energy work. We clear that. We heal that so that it's gone forever. It doesn't keep cropping up with every relationship that you're going to have. If you have had patterns before. And then we get into embracing your feminine goddess. I don't think women understand how to be women. We have been given this vision of women that we have all encompassed and become. That's not true for who we are. So I just think it's important for us to understand that being feminine does not mean being weak or defenseless. It just means being more powerful, but in a more open and receiving way. Right. That you are not getting into battle with men. You are getting into partnership with them.
It's like kind of like being assertive in the sense, right? It's not aggressive, it's assertive. It's like just knowing what you want and being present to that, and being present to your man, and him being, and then it's all this lovely kumbaya stuff.
Yeah, and learning to receive as well, receive from that man. And because some of the problems we have is women don't know how to receive. So men give, and we keep saying it's not enough, it's not enough. It's not what I want, because one, we don't know who we are or what we want. And two, even when a man tries to read you as much as possible, he gives you what he's able to give you from the information you've given him. We are never satisfied. So this module will help you to get what you need. And that can only make you happier. And the next module is to get clear on the qualities of the man you want. That's for people who are single, who are looking. But if you are married and you are now just focused on the negative, it can also help you to find those things that you fell in love with. The real man, not the one you said you want to shape into, but the real one you fell in love with in the first place. That will help you to rediscover him and connect with him. And the next module is conversations that create a deeper connection. Jacqueline and I have done this before, but we didn't even do a third of what that is. I would even give you the questions to ask, so you get deeper. So you don't even need to think about it. You just need to do it, and you test it. It's like an experiment, and you see what that gives you. You can even use those questions with your children, with your business partners, with your friends, to get to know who they really are. And I will also help you with the answers so that you know how to interpret them to give you meaning, so you understand this person was before you better. Oh. And then we get into how to balance your needs with expectations. Because I think sometimes as women, we have such high expectations that nobody is going to meet them. We just expect, but we don't know how to meet those expectations or to receive them. Or sometimes, like you understanding that men are single focused. So when he's at work, he's really at work 100% of the time. Doesn't mean he doesn't love you. It just means at this moment he needs to focus on this thing, which gives bread and butter to his life. And then we are busy texting. He doesn't love me because he never texted me 20 times a day. It's to understand what is a need and what is an expectation and how to balance the two. Yeah, we even touch on the relationship with family, siblings, and all that, because I think it's important. It makes a whole human being. And we are discussing, the last module is discussing the vision of your ideal future. Again, for singles, they'll be looking at what they want in a relationship and how they can, what kind of relationship, the future they want. So you're having a plan of your future. If you are already in a relationship and again it's not giving you what you need, then you are starting to create a new one. You can do this with the same man you're with, because that's what I did. And it turned out beautifully. Or you can decide to step away from this one if you think there's too much water under the bridge and start again with somebody else. That's up to you, and I don't have an opinion on what you should do. And so I have bonuses. So the bonuses are empowered intimacy. It's the sex thing I was talking about. And you also have a question and answer session after every module, and a free ticket to my event next year. And for all this, because I'm running this module for the first time, I was going to charge $497.
Huh?
But today I am going to charge $197. And this is, yeah. So that's it.
Awesome. And so the link is down below. And is this offer only for a limited period of time that you're presenting this to? Is it?
Well, the offer is until the 30th.
Okay.
So you have about a week, about a week approximately, to decide. But if I were you, if you want to have any semblance of a good relationship with people in your life, especially with men, I would jump on this because it will give you so much. It's like a roadmap to amazing relationships.
And PM you, Melody, if they've got any questions or concerns too, but the information is on your heartpassioninstitute.com, right? The link is, I put it above this or below this or however it shows up. I think it's above it.
Okay.
And it's there. And I'm just kind of wrapping up now because I only got so much time between now and the next one. So your words of wisdom on rising to love, the last sentence is?
That love is a natural state and a spiritual experience, and you are worthy exploring that and enjoying it.
I love you. I love you, everybody watching. Thank you for being here. I really think I do. Benny, I just want to give kudos to you for sharing, and thank you.
Thanks, Benny.
Back at the top of the hour with Vanessa and Music and Movement and Kirsten. Bye.
Okay. Wow. Bye.